Hello and welcome to another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I'm finally getting out to the range with my Remington Model 31 12-gauge shotgun, and as I started loading this up for the first time, I realized something. You can see it right about here. I realized that there is a round limiting device in the magazine tube on this. So I can only put 2 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber, but let's see how she runs. Of late, I've been trying to get better at taking video of my targets when I'm shooting, but you can hear in the background that there's several other people shooting. So because this is a club property and other people can come here at the same time as me, I don't always get the luxury of setting my cameras up down by my targets. Now this shotgun does have a legacy of being very smooth. Again, you saw in my previous video that they claim that this has the ball bearing-like action, that it's super smooth and easy to rack. It did feel pretty good, but I will say that it didn't feel as good as I expected it would for the advertisements of the day. So when I got it home, I decided to do a little investigation, and I could not find any other videos about how to take the magazine tube on this apart. So with some exploded diagrams, I was able to figure this out kind of on my own. Taking the barrel off is rather easy. You just loosen up this thumb screw, which releases a pin off of the barrel. Then you turn the barrel a quarter of a turn to the left, and that allows you to pull it out of the action. Now you can see here again, as I turn it to the left a quarter of a turn, it pulls right out of the action, and it has what's called interrupted threads on the barrel, which looks like a screw, but instead of being helical cut, they're straight cut, and there is 2 flat spots on the barrel that allow it to key into the action. Next, you remove the magazine guide screw, and once you have that taken out, you can actually slide the magazine guide, which is this horseshoe-shaped piece, back a couple of inches and out of the way. Mine was a little bit difficult the first time. With penetrating oil and a rubber mallet, I was able to get it loose. Next, you have to wiggle the barrel lock nut assembly out the end of the magazine tube. And again, the first time I did this, it was pretty difficult, but with some penetrating oil, it worked pretty well. Once that's out, now you can see the magazine plug was in the magazine spring. And here again, you can see the barrel lock nut assembly and how it works. It's just a left-hand threaded screw that moves back and forth to put tension on the end of the barrel. Here I have all of the components laid out on the table, the magazine spring with the plug and the barrel lock nut assembly next to each other. And all of that trouble was to get this plunger out. Now the cool thing about this has been sitting in this gun since 1937. Which at the time of filming has been 86 years in the gun. And it has this label on there that was no doubt glued on in the factory because I don't think they had adhesive paper back then. But it's just really cool that this is still in the gun after all these years. While I had this apart, I looked at all of the internal components, and it's no wonder this thing didn't feel smooth. Look at all of that gunked up grease on all the parts in the internals of this gun. So while I had everything apart, I decided that it was best to inspect everything and do a good bit of cleaning on it. Again, look at the grunge on the top of this bolt. 2 hours later. Now you can see that my hard work paid off, and the internals of this gun are now very clean, as I would expect from any of my firearms. I didn't do a complete breakdown and disassembly of this gun because there's other good videos out there that tell you how to take everything down. I merely focused on the one aspect of this that I could not find any information on, and that was how to get the magazine plug out of the magazine tube. So I hope this video has been helpful. Not only is this gun extremely fun to shoot, it's extremely well built. I always enjoy when I have a gun apart to see the machining of yesteryear, and you got to remember, this thing was made in 1930s. The machining on this and all the parts that are inside, the polishing may not be that great, but just the fact that every single part was machined out of a piece of steel really makes me enjoy this. And one other thing I did note while I had this out, I was checking the bore on it, and it seems that somebody did cut the barrel down, as it now has a cylinder bore, and on the barrel itself it said improved modified. So at some point in time this was cut down and a new bead sight put on it to make it a shorter barrel. This thing is great. I can't wait to take it out to the range again, now with the magazine plug removed. Thanks for watching.